Good evening. Hi, Dean again. I think the first video came off quite well. Seeing it was all done in like 10 minutes. Didn't write anything, it was all from my own cranium and all that, so welcome to DeanTube. I put some questions out last video at the end, asking people to tell me to do something for the next video. So the first suggestion I got was a top 5 or a top 10 of my favourite films. I actually didn't say top 10 or top 5 of what specifically, but I'm going to say it's my top 10 films. Alright? And I'll give you a 5 extra bonus as well. Okay, let's go backwards. So, 5 films that were really close to be in my top 10 are Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I love this film. It's one film that you can watch every couple of months, you know? It's just so cool. I love Edgar Wright's directing and his editing skills. It's amazing. The Cornetto trilogy, big fan of that. Dogma is a great film. Oh, kicking it right into religion's bum. It's Kevin Smith's baby. It's one of his best. You know, up there with more Rats and Clerks. I love it. It's got an awesome cast. Alan Rickman. I love Alan Rickman in this film. He's so dry-witted, but still so charming for the camera, I reckon. So there's that. Snatch, another great ensemble movie by one of my fave directors as well, Guy Ritchie. You know, I love films that's got a great soundtrack and great editing. You know, stuff that drags on too much, you get bored, you know? Unless it's a really tension-driven scene, unless there's something happening in the movie, you just get bored. I like these quick cuts and all that sort of stuff. Watchmen. Now, I like the director's cut of Watchmen. I love Zack Snyder's style. I mean, he makes some amazing films. Not so much lately. So yeah, Watchmen director's cut. If you haven't seen it, get hold of it because I love it. It's good. Now, this might divide a few people. I love Episode 3, Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith. I know. Look, the acting is not on par with most films in general, but the story of Anakin becoming Darth Vader, I really like it. I dig it a lot. Execute Order 66. Oh God, how dramatic was that? Try docking a Asahi glass. Yeah, I know. Sacrilege. Hey, it was cheap. Just like I. Cheers, big ears. Let's get on to the top 10. Look, what I look for in a great film. I like comedies. I like the sci-fi style. I like good editing, and I like stylistic violence sort of thing. I like great soundtracks. It's not a great soundtrack, it's not a great film. What about story, Dean? Don't you like stories as well? You silly sausage. So, top 10. Sin City. I love Sin City. Robert Rodriguez, one of my favourite directors, you know, from Dusk Till Dawn. El Mariachi trilogy. I just love his style, you know. Planet Terror, I particularly like Planet Terror. So Sin City, just the best graphic novel adaptation I've seen in a long time. It's awesome. I love it. Moving on. Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters, as most people should. I mean, it's amazing. The comedy, the soundtrack, the effects for 1984. How could you not like it? I mean, who doesn't like Ghostbusters? Silly people, that's true. Here's a short little thing. I saw the remake. You know, it's not amazing. I'm going to say that. It's not amazing. Out of a 10, I give it a 6.5. That's not too bad, you know. I still enjoyed it. Seemed to drag on a little bit in parts, and the comedy didn't quite hit home because these people that made it, they tried to make a PG-13, PG Australia film, and their niche is MA to R-rated films because they like to swear, they like to push the boundaries of comedy, and to do a PG film, I know they've got a lot more demographic, but if they went for an M, you know, sort of R17 feel, I reckon they could have got a lot more people into it because they weren't holding back. They need to just let loose and let the magic happen. But yeah, look, as I said, new Ghostbusters is okay, but nowhere near as good as the original, of course. Jurassic Park! Steven Spielberg, thank you. Awesome dinosaur film. Mwah. Stan Winston bringing those dinosaurs alive. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love it. Thank you, mate. T2 Judgment Day. Oh, God. How could I not have a top 10 favourite movie list without James Cameron in there at least once or twice? I mean, I love Terminator 2. It's amazing. I love the effects, soundtrack, the feel of it. It was just one of those great films of the 90s. Aliens. I love Aliens. One of the best cinematic film endings of all time. Why? Because it has two. I mean, there's the big explosion, and then you think that's the end of it, and then BAM! Queen's still alive, snuck up on the spacecraft somehow. That's still a bit of a, how the hell did that big thing get in there undetected? But still one of the best films of all time. James Cameron, thank you. Thank you for making my childhood amazing. The Avengers! How could I not include The Avengers? I mean, it was so amazing! I love The Avengers. One of my favourite films of all time. It's the only type of film I'd go to the cinema at least 2 or 3 times to see. Because, you know, the comedy, it's so many amazing characters all into one. I mean, how could you not like The Avengers? How could you not like The Avengers? Marvel all the way, baby. Thank you, Josh Whedon. Fight Club! Yeah! David Fincher. Another great director. I love a lot of his earlier stuff, obviously, Seven, and I don't mind Alien 3 either. Zodiac, he does some amazing work. I love his work. Yeah, so Fight Club, definitely on my top 10 list. Lord of the Ring, Return of the King. Hello! Amazing. Yes, I am more of a Lord of the Rings fan than Star Wars. I love all the Star Wars films, I do. But Return of the King just made me just so happy. The ending, the powerful ending, you know? Where they bowed down to Frodo and the other hobbits. Oh, it was so touching. And the music, the score, oh, thank you Howard Shore, I love it. I love good music and great filmmaking. Who doesn't? Now we're getting close to the end here. My top 2 favourite films of all time. Can you guess what they are? It was so hard to divide these two. Now, I'm going to have to say number 2 is Pulp Fiction. Who doesn't love Pulp Fiction? I mean, Quentin Tarantino makes amazing films. I love his work. He can't do anything wrong. I love his sense of humour, because I'm demented too. So yeah, Pulp Fiction, almost the greatest movie in my opinion of all time. Just amazing. Great script, great ensemble, just great story telling, really. And of course my number 1 film. Now I picked this as number 1 because it was my number 1 favourite film of all time for most of my life. It hasn't aged very well in some aspects, but it's still one of my favourite films, The Matrix. Oh yes, The Matrix. I love The Matrix. Love it. The sci-fi element, the special effects, soundtrack. The acting wasn't on par. That's the only thing I didn't quite like about it. Some of the acting was a bit shit. I mean, that's what you get when you get Keanu Reeves. But it was still good. Still enjoyed it. You know, the martial arts, the awesomeness of it. I mean, I just love cool films. And that film was one of the coolest of all time. Those are some of my favourite films. Now, I need to go back over something that happened in the last video. Some of the information I said was incorrect. From when I made the video, it was only 8 days until Suicide Squad comes out in Australia, not 2 weeks. So, but that's a good thing. It means it's coming sooner. A couple other things I wanted to say too. Suicide Squad should have pushed for an American R-17 type style film, like they did with Deadpool. Because I just look at these characters, these demented characters, and I think they're going to be running around just punching people, shooting people with no blood coming out. What's going on? Come on. I mean, I don't like violence. I just think in this case, you shouldn't have to censor it. It should be just let these characters run wild and show the audience how awesome they are. And another thing I wanted to say too, I'm putting it out there, I love Marvel's heroes in the Marvel universe, but in the DC universe, I love the DC villains. If the DC villains and the Marvel heroes thought together, that would be an awesome film. Don't you think? Because I just reckon the DC villains, they have more character to them. They're so crazy and awesome. And then the Marvel characters, well, you know, they're just awesome in general and funny. DC heroes are just too sad, pretty much. They're just sad. They're emos. They're goths. You know? One of them dresses in black, for Christ's sake. I love Batman, but still, that's not the point. DC villains, Marvel heroes. Let's get it on. That'd be a cool film. Anyway, moving on. Somebody suggested I do a dick helicopter. Well, I've got to give what my audience wants.
Are you happy? I did the dick helicopter, okay?
I'm funny. Well, because of time restraints, that's all from this video today. Top 10 list and some other little quirky things for going back to Suicide Squad and DC and stuff like that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Press like and share and follow me, subscribe, you know. I love you guys if you do that. Next beer's on me if you subscribe. Keep those comments coming. I want to hear what you want me to do next. Follow me on my crazy adventures through time and space. Love yous. Mwah. See you next time.